What if you could travel back through time and talk to your younger self? What would you say? What advice would you give? What pitfalls and hazards would you warn about? If you could somehow reach back to the starry-eyed teenager who set you on your musical journey so many years ago, what would you tell them? Welcome to Sittin' with Jimi. I'm Jimi, and this is the channel where we discuss all things creative because creativity is a way of life. Subscribe and hit the bell notification if you like this video and want to see more. My videos are for independent artists like you looking to understand and expand their creative gifts. Last week, I played a show at a packed community center in New Fairfield, Connecticut, as part of their local Groovin' in New Fairfield series. It was one of those gigs that seems to come along every so often to restore my faith in what I do for a living. The entire thing was run by local volunteers who do a bang-up job curating a really unique listening room experience for a super attentive and respectful listening audience. All the money generated by the event goes back to the artists, which is a really humbling value statement on behalf of the volunteers. It's a statement that says music is valuable and it is worth it. Gigs like these could not be farther from what I thought my music career would look like when I was a young wannabe rock star. There's no curtain or barrier between the performer and the audience at shows like this, and there is certainly no place for a too cool for this artistic front. It's very hard to pretend you are a rock star when they are announcing raffle winners and singing happy birthday complete with candle-lit cake to a local woman in the crowd on your set break. And yet this is the marrow of a career in music. This is the heart and soul of a career in music. The humility, good humor, and humanity that can be found at gigs like this is so refreshing and life-affirming. And what you get in exchange for surrendering your prickly adolescent sense of being a mysterious artist is a direct connection to real life. It is a beautiful thing. At our set break, I was at the merch stand trying to sell some CDs and shirts when a man came up to me and struck up a conversation. He was extremely direct and tuned in and asked me some pretty forward questions about my life. He asked what level of education I had and if I had a day job. He told me the reason he was curious was because he was a teacher who had a 16-year-old student who was a phenomenal guitar player, a student who wanted to pursue a career as a musician. He was wary of the dangers of this young student's chosen career path and was trying to guide him with sound advice. How do you reach a 16-year-old who, like all 16-year-olds, already knows everything? He asked me. I've been thinking about this interaction a lot since the gig. I was once that 16-year-old, that big fish in a small pond performer with huge dreams and nearly zero sense about the way the world worked. It got me thinking, what would I tell myself if I could somehow reach back across time and speak to my 16-year-old self? What top 5 pieces of wisdom would I give that young dude? So if you are a young person that's thinking about pursuing a career as a musician, or if you've just started out, here's 5 pieces of advice that I would give myself if I could go back in time and talk to 16-year-old Jimi. Number 1, seek musical mentorship. If you are the best player in the room, you are in the wrong room. Find someone older and wiser and better to model your own development after. The key to getting work as a musician is not the ability to be the biggest show-off on any given stage. The key is to be the most useful across the widest variety of material. Musicians who can do this will always find work. A good teacher will challenge your weaknesses and ensure that you are always progressing in your playing. A great teacher will do the same, but in a way that ripples out into your life beyond your music. Number 2, guard your time. If you've got a vision for your musical career and your life, you must protect it and nurture it with everything you've got. Music scenes are filled with addicts, sycophants, wannabes, and clowns. They will steal your life force if you let them. I know it seems now like the party will last forever, but it won't. The majority of the popular bands in any given scene are more interested in the party that surrounds their music than they are in making a sustainable life with their music. It is always later than it seems. Develop the ability to delay gratification and plan ahead. Being gifted will make this especially hard to do, as you stand the risk of buying into your own self-created legend and believing it. Rise above the bad behaviors you see around you. They do not age well, and they do not help you have a career. Number 3, you are not that great. Do not buy into the idea that your talent is great enough that you are entitled to something. Do not buy into the idea that your failures demonstrate some inherent grievous unfairness in the music industry. The competition for opportunity among working musicians is unbelievably fierce. Open up TikTok or Instagram right now, and in no time you'll find 20 musicians who are younger and technically better at music than perhaps you'll ever be. Willingly expose yourself to this uncomfortable reality and let it change you. It will destroy your egoic, validation-rooted reasons for being a musician and build a solid and stoic foundation in its place. A foundation connected to deeper principles than validation and winning the game. Number 4, music is not everything. There is a great sweeping romance to the statement, "All I need is my music." It is a statement that is really only useful in my estimation and experience as a kind of pickup line to entice romantic partners. It makes you seem really mysterious and cinematic. No, you need more than your music. You need food. You need a home. You need financial stability. You need love and friendship. You need a family. You need a spiritual purpose. When you realize this, the problem then becomes, how can I meet all those needs with music, or at the very least, music-adjacent work? The sooner you can realize this, the better. Sure, there is a fantastic romance to the idea of the young guitar player sleeping in their car and sacrificing everything to make it. But the romance dies pretty fast once you start getting into your mid-20s. The music is everything philosophy is a pretty irresponsible hill to die on, and unfortunately 9 out of 10 of those who espouse it are not making music that is of quality great enough to justify it. Number 5, master a diverse set of marketable skills. Number 1 through 4 on this list all lead to this inescapable truth. Those that are able to make a living with music understand that they must diversify their skills to be able to take work that is adjacent to their central artistic goals. You must become skilled enough to do the jobs that are being offered. This means you are not too artistically pure to play weddings and private events. You are not waiting to get a record deal to record your music. You're figuring out how to do it yourself. You are not too cool to advertise for yourself and advocate for your skills outside of just being the one on the stage. You have a sound system. You know how it works. You know how to solder an input jack into an amp. You are capable and willing to provide the service of being a teacher. You know how to film and edit video. You know how to write a good email. You respond promptly and clearly to all inquiries. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, Jimmy, I don't want to do those things. Not everyone is interested in doing those things, and that's totally fair. But understand that the more open you are to learning and becoming able to do a wide variety of service-oriented, art-adjacent music jobs, the more you are able to keep playing in the sandbox of music you love so much. So much more is happening in the commerce surrounding music than just the headline, incredible super talent, paid millions to hump amplifier on stage in front of audience of cajillions. That's just the small and statistically absurd tip of the iceberg. There are so many things I do now that I would have completely rejected when I was 16 because of the purity of my music career dreams. Open yourself up early and understand that the more skills you develop, the more jobs you can take. The number one way to make money in the music industry is to provide a service. Every working artist I know, every single one does some degree of work that is adjacent to their artistic goals. If you are young and just starting out, think about what I'm saying here. I'm 34 now. I promise you, I was exactly like you are now when I was 16. I never thought I'd be 34. 34 seemed so far away. It's always later than it seems, my friends. I really hope you'll think about what I've said here, and I hope that it encourages you along a path that lets you keep dreaming your big dreams, but also sobers you up enough to see those dreams more clearly. Great blessings will result from that clear, sober sight. So yes, when I was 16, I was sure I was going to be a headliner at Wembley Stadium by the time I was 34. And yet there I am at the Groovin' in New Fairfield concert series playing in a community center. And you know what? It's the best. There is a direct connection being made. There is no illusion to it. It's all real and down to earth. Nothing larger than life or mythic, just genuine shared experience. It's gigs like this that bring me back to what is meaningful about what I do, even though it is so different from what I thought I would be doing. That teacher asking me what I would say to a 16-year-old guitar player with dreams of glory at a gig that is absolutely the opposite of the glorious dreams of a 16-year-old is a poetic expression of the humor and wisdom of the universe. It is wisdom that I hope reaches some other 16-year-old somewhere across the internet who, like me, has beautiful dreams of music. And if you are older and been at it a while, I would love to know what advice you'd give your 16-year-old self. Better yet, if you're in your 60s or 70s, what advice would you give your 34-year-old self? Drop a comment and let me know. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of you. I hope you'll subscribe to this channel if you like the message. It does help the channel grow and the message to spread. Thanks to all who reached out last week and congratulated me on a year of sitting with Jimi. That was awesome. It's been such a pleasure to make videos for you guys and connect with all of you. Thank you so much. I hope you're out there making your art, performing live, recording, and just progressing and learning about yourself as you do it. Thank you so much. We will see you next time.